Welcome to Weidner Field, Colorado Springs, Colorado, for this U.S. Open Cup game between the Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC and FC Tucson. My name is Mark Turner with the Backchat Show, joined here today by my regular teammate, Jason Smith.
How you doing, Mark?
I am doing okay, Jason, although this is slightly surreal. You know, they talk about hallowed turf at soccer games, and here we are in the hallowed commentary box on the hallowed seats, no less.
Yeah, we found we were doing this morning at about 9-10 o'clock, so this was not where I envisioned myself sitting at this time today.
Me either, my friend, me either. But here we are, nonetheless, again at Weidner Field, a.k.a. Fortress Sand Creek, in beautiful Colorado Springs. Well, it was beautiful. It was beautiful until about an hour ago, and then some ominous-looking dark clouds began rolling in from the east, and they've dropped a little rain, but nothing too significant. Nothing I think that'll have an impact on the playing surface. So hopefully we will have a good game this evening. Let's go ahead and run through the lineups for you, and I apologize to any FC Tucson folks listening. All we have here are names and numbers. We obviously aren't as familiar with your formation or where people play as you guys are, but nonetheless, I'll go ahead and share the names out. Number 1, we have Luis Barraza. Number 25, Esteban Berumen. Both of those guys are on the bench. You know what? Let's do this the other way around. Let's go with the starters. That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Excuse me. No, Luis Barraza and Esteban Berumen are starting, as is, and you guys are going to have a field day with me, Afonso Di Paiva Pinheiro Neto. What do you think, Jason?
Well, that's not the one didn't give us phonetics for, so I'm going to pretend it's right.
Okay, good. He's number 19. He's also starting. This is a little more for my liking. Carl Hinkson, number 5, starting. Daniel Crutzen, number 20, also starting. Moshe Perez, number 12. Sebastian Pineda Gordillo. Austin Polster, all starting. Tate Schmidt, number 7, Tate Schmidt. Nicholas Solabareta Vergara, number 16. Starting too, and finally Giovanni Vasquez, number 13, the last of your starters. On your bench tonight, number 9, Weidner Del Monte, number 0, Lucas Gomez Vallejo, number 18, Briley Guanere, number 3, Gordon Hall, number 24, I think it is, Nicholas Gwindigai, and number 10, Daniel Muskovsky. I'm sure you guys are having a field day with this. And finally, number 23, Caleb Scott. So that is your FC Tucson visiting team, the men in black, who confusingly are not in black tonight. In fact, neither team, who ordinarily play in black as their home uniforms, are playing in black tonight. Tucson are in their change strips of red and Switchbacks in white. Just waiting for the kickoff here, and we'll go through the Switchbacks lineup momentarily.
Yeah.
So Tucson are kicking from left to right, from south to north, as we look down on Weidner Field from our vantage point here on the west side of the stadium. All right, Jason. I'm going to throw you up a watermelon. I had to deal with all those difficult names that I'm not familiar with. Why don't you go ahead and take the completely changed up Switchbacks lineup?
Absolutely. We weren't given any formation, but we can just assume it's the same old with Trichu. But tonight we got Connor Bevins, Jake Cossey, Pascal Abusi, Kevon Frater, Diego Chavez, Diego Gutierrez, Daniel Jackson in goal, Taesong Kim, Sion McFarlane, Jung Park, Eddie Prug, and Josh Suggs.
So to the best of our knowledge, the way I think the guys are organised tonight, obviously some unfamiliar names in there, guys who haven't seen many minutes this season. So the way we think they're organised, of course, Dan Jackson in goal, centre-backs, returning Pascal Abusi, alongside Diego Gutierrez, with Suggs at left back, Suggs captaining the team tonight, and Connor Bevins at right back. 3 across the middle, consisting of Jake Causey, Eddie Prue, and Kim. And then up top, we have on the left-hand side Park, on the right-hand side
Frater.
Thank you. Yes, Frater. That's right. Again, guys playing unfamiliar positions, but the most unfamiliar of all Sion McFarlane, central defender, for the Switchbacks playing at centre forward.
Yeah, that's the news story here so far. So far, both teams just been kicking it around.
Feeding each other out.
It's kickoff was about 2 minutes ago. We're 2 minutes in, and really hasn't been anything significant has happened yet. Right now, the Switchbacks are working the ball up.
With Stuggsy on the left.
Overlap to... Oh, it's an overlap to McFarlane, and the ball bounced off of the corner post, and looks like they're going to award them a throw-in.
Stuggs to take the throw-in. Plays it back to Kim, who drills the ball across the field. I don't think it was a shot. It looked like a hopeful pass out to Freighter on the right. Didn't make it to him. Out of play.
Yep.
So, Jason, what do you think about Sam McFarlane playing centre forward? I mean, we've barely seen him at central defence.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what to make of that. That's kind of had to do a double take when we saw that, because that's not definitely not his position with us. It would seem like I don't know if take that as this is we don't have enough men to cover the field, to cover that position, with us coming from back-to-back away games and traveling again tomorrow up to Salt Lake City, or whether or not Trichu is just kind of saying, hey, I'm just going to throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks.
Well, we know we're a little thin in terms of offensive options. We know obviously Chris James has a long-term injury. Luke Vercoloni, I understand, isn't 100%. I think Connor Bevins has played as forward, so I'm surprised not to see maybe him given the opportunity there, but of course the coach knows far more than we do, and maybe his hand was forced in this decision. Looking at McFarlane's record down the years, obviously he scored his first goal for the Switchbacks just this past weekend up in Vancouver, the solitary consolation goal in our 3-1 defeat. In his college career, having played about... sorry, I'm going to break from conversation here. Nice turn there in the middle by Tate Schmidt for FC Tucson. Doing a nice turn and drag, moving away from two Switchbacks players under pressure. Tucson now have a throw-in down the right-hand side of the field. And Park manages to dispossess the Tucson right-back. Eddie Prude now is trying to take him on, pushing up in support, and the ball's out of play. Yeah, looking at McFarlane's record in college, the two places he played in Florida, college and semi-pro, where he played a little over 20 games for both of those two teams, he did amass 4 goals for each of those two teams. So he does know where the net is. That's obviously not a particularly stellar record, but he has got...
Suggs had a deep throw in there. It didn't look like it went too far, and now FC Tucson look like they're on a break, but the ball drifts out of bounds.
You know, Josh and Rona make this look so easy.
Yeah. Well,
I think it's really hard when you have a PDL team, though, because we don't know formation. So unless we can see the players' numbers, unless obviously turn so we can see their numbers, it's really hard to make out who's doing what, but we'll try and stay on top of it for you folks. So the Switchbacks currently have the ball down the right-hand side. It's gone out of play. Trying to work it in a tight space. Sadly, nothing coming off for them. Number 25, Esteban Bremen, has the ball now. It's laid back to the Tucson left midfielder, who plays it back to the left back, who feeds it back to his goalkeeper. Cautious start from both the teams so far, Jason. Nobody's really grabbed the nettle yet.
No.
As we say that, Tucson are breaking from midfield. It's number 12, Moshe Perez, trying to feed your centre forward, who has his back to me rather unhelpfully, so I can't tell you who that is. Number 19, Afonso Pinheiro. Comes to nothing, and the Switchbacks now switch play to the other end of the field. It's with Freighter on the far right. Freighter squaring up to his man. Trying to find an opening, trying to find a Switchbacks player to maintain possession. He does, he finds Prue. And Prue does likewise. Squared up to a Tucson player, not sure whether to push or come back, and in the end he gives the ball up.
Yeah, it almost looked like he was expecting someone to overlap from behind him and didn't have anyone make the run. And
yeah, no one's really stretching themselves. So we're not seeing those overlapping runs. Now Tucson have the ball. Out on the left, play out to the right-hand side to number 5, Carl Hinkson. He has a little space now. He could get a ball in. He tries to. Suggs connects with the cross, diverts it. Ball stays in play. And Hinkson feeds it back to Austin Pulsar. Pulsar's in the Switchbacks half right now, Jason, under no pressure. I mean, the Switchbacks are really encouraging him to do something with the ball.
And just
in the process, it gets turned over. Yeah, here we go. Here goes Park. Kim, on the left-hand side. Trying to find some help in the middle. All he has available for him is McFarlane and Freighter arriving late. But Kim, it gets dispossessed, and the ball's turned over. And it's out to play on the right-hand side. So coming back to our earlier comment, Jason, seeing McFarlane up front obviously is a big surprise. We knew that the coach was going to turn over players for this game. That's pretty traditional for the Switchbacks in the US Open Cup. This is almost a completely different roster, though. How seriously do you think the Switchbacks are taking this game?
I'm not really sure. I know that. Sorry, the ball was played deep in the field and out of bound, and Tucson will have a goal kick out of their end. I don't know. It's one of those things where we'll see how competitive it is based upon when they start subbing people in and out. This could be a situation where he just wants to get the young players out, get some game time on the bench, and see what these players who are normally on the bench, who are fighting for starting time, do in a competitive situation. The Switchbacks are in a rough position, though. They're in the middle of a 3-game road swing, just coming off a really bad loss in Vancouver, and having to come back home and then turn around and fly back out to Salt Lake City for a huge game. So I imagine they want to win this game, but I don't think they're going to be risking putting out, say like Master Cashier or any of the money men just to get it.
Just so listeners don't get frustrated, you're not missing much. The ball's pinging around in the middle of the park right now. Nobody really seems to be able to put a foot on it. The minute one team has it, they have it for maybe, 5 or 6 seconds before they either give it up or are dispossessed. The ball actually goes back to Dan Jackson in the Switchbacks goal. He feeds it out. We win it in midfield. Prue now trying to create. Lays the ball out wide on the right to Freitas. Some nifty footwork. Back into Prue in the middle, who lays it back to Gutierrez. And Jake Causey takes the pressure off by knocking it all the way back to Abusi. Yeah, one thing I'm not seeing here, Jason, is the trademark Switchbacks overlapping runs that you mentioned earlier. That fluidity we typically see down the flanks. It isn't there. Everything looks a little staid at the moment. But saying that, McFarlane has fed the ball through to... it got blocked down the inside. It was Bevins, I think, on the overlapping run. Found himself in space on the edge of the box. Couldn't make anything of it. Ball out of play. That'll be a Switchbacks throw. Freighter to throw the ball in. Finds Causey. Causey whips the ball into the middle of the box, looking for McFarlane. Doesn't find him. Does find Park, though, but he can't bring the ball under control. And Tucson clear, only as far as Freighter. Comes out to Causey again.
Ooh.
Well, he...
And Causey puts it out on Barnes, which I believe is the first player that's done that this year.
I think it's fair to say he got under that.
Yeah, I definitely got under that.
Leant back, got a nosebleed, got under it.
For those in Tucson, Barnes is the major street right next to the stadium, and you have to clear the ball out of the stadium. And
how big is that fence, Jason? What do you think that is?
That's a good 50, 60 feet high.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I wouldn't want to fall from it.
Does Causey get extra points for that, like you do in rugby?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I think it's through the posts. Okay, comes back to Prue in the middle again, who tries to find Park. Tucson are doing a nice job, though, of pressing Switchbacks in all the right places. They're not expending too much energy where they don't need to. And when things get serious, they close the Switchbacks down pretty quickly, and they're hunting in packs. Be interesting to see how long Tucson can maintain that, though, Jason, knowing that we're playing at altitude. And typically in the second half of games here at Fortress Sand Creek, opposing teams tend to flag.
Yes.
Hello, we have an opportunity here. Freighter down the right, sidesteps his marker. That was a wasted opportunity. Looked to feed the ball into the middle, got it all wrong, sliced it out for a goal kick.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what he was trying to do there. He was coming in on the from the far post into the near and kicked it with his outside foot on the goal line. So.
Well, even though it is still a relatively bright day, those dark clouds are causing the ground staff here to turn on the floodlights. So it's a rather odd setting that we have here now, in that we have sunlight on the field, dark clouds overhead, and floodlights not really illuminating very much. But I think they've just been turned on in preparedness for the sunset.
Well, the sun coming over too also casts the sun right into Dan Jackson's eye there in goal. So that's something to look for in the first half is him losing track of a possible shot and letting one go in.
Some nice aggressive tackling in the central midfield from both teams. Switchbacks dispossessing Tucson. Tucson dispossessing the Switchbacks in the process, but giving up a free kick. Switchbacks waste the free kick. Finds his way back to Tucson defence. Number 7 in midfield, Tate Schmidt feeds the ball through to Alfonso Pinero. Pinero tries to turn inside Suggs, then rolls the ball back to the edge of the box. Tucson aren't able to make anything of it, and the Switchbacks clear. You know, if you look at the shape right now, Jason, McFarlane is really ploughing a lone furrow up top.
Yeah.
He hasn't got players around him. He's got nobody tucked in behind him. I'd say the space between our defence and our midfield right now looks good, but our space between midfield and forwards, it's going to make it hard for us to transition with numbers. McFarlane does a great job there of rolling his man. He's now into the Tucson box. Great tackle, sliding tackle from Sebastian Pineda. Yeah, McFarlane rolled his man. I think it was the right back. I want to say number 5, Hinkson. And found himself inside the box, but a great sliding tackle from Pineda puts the ball out for a corner, which Josh Suggs will go over to take. Oh, you're supposed to say something about this corner. This corner brought to you by Jason's favourite underwear brand or something.
Generic. There's no boards up, so I don't know who's sponsoring this one.
Here comes Suggs with the left foot corner from the left hand side of the field. It's low. He's driven into the middle of the box. Well cleared by Tucson. But Prue picks it up just outside the box, picking up scraps, tries to flick it back in. McFarlane goes down just inside the box. The referee waves it away. No penalty. It's pinging around right now. Tucson are trying to clear. And do so. He goes for a throw about 10 yards from the corner flag. Still here on the left-hand side. And Suggs steps up to take the throw in. How's the crowd looking today, Jason? We think it's just shy of about 1,000. Is that what the estimate was?
I would say, just looking at it, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a good 800 people over there on these stands. It's actually...
Sorry, go on, Jason.
I'd say it's a nice-looking crowd. We can hear it from the other side here.
Good work by Bevins out on the right. Drills the ball into the middle of the box, but Tucson's keeper, Lucas Valli, hang on a second, I need to just double check.
Luis Barraza.
Thank you. Okay, collects it, no trouble at all. Okay, so you're the goalkeeper guy. You need to stay on top of the goalkeeper. Whenever the goalkeeper does something, that's your domain.
I have one name to remember. And he just punted the ball fairly deep in and almost caught the Switchbacks napping.
Yeah, they got flat there, but Gutierrez did a nice job of recovering and heading the ball out. Did the referee just call offside? It looks like he may, although I don't see a flag from the linesman. Is it a throw? Is it a kick? It's a throw. Okay, went up the right-hand side. Tucson were disputing it, but evidently the ref thought the whole of the ball across the line. Tucson now in possession in the middle of the park. Playing the ball to number 7, Tate Schmidt. Tries to cut inside. So congested in the middle of the park. Great shot from Alfonso Pinero on the edge of the Switchbacks box. It's so congested in there. There were maybe 7 or 8 players right on the edge of the box, all trying to jockey for position, block the ball, bumping each other around. Pinero was the one that found the ball at his feet. Turned quickly, snapshot, just wide of the Switchbacks left-hand post. I don't know if Jackson would have gotten to it. He didn't seem to make much of an effort. He seemed to feel like he had the measure of that one. And
I would say, though, at the 15th minute, that's probably the first real scoring opportunity either team has had.
Absolutely. Jackson clears. McFarlane flicks from the middle of the park, trying to get Park in behind him, but the ball rolls through to the Tucson goalkeeper. Okay, I'm English, so an update on the weather watch. The sun has now gone. At least the light being cast from the sun has now gone. There's no shade on the field, other than that being cast by the floodlights. Park flicks the ball onto Prue in the middle of the park. Prue turns, gives it back to Park. Park comes inside with the ball, tucks it into McFarlane. McFarlane gets clattered by Giovanni Vasquez, I think it is.
And
we've seen some nice instances from McFarlane so far of him rolling his man. He does a nice job allowing the ball to come across his body and roll his man to create space for himself.
Yeah,
he did it literally just inside the box, and there he did it to win their free kick.
Yeah, there's been several times where he's won the ball off of the defender or been able to play against the defender, and he's shown good for himself so far.
He's a big boy, isn't he? He shields the ball. It must be hard to get around him.
Yeah. So right now the Switchbacks have a free kick. It's about 25.
No, more like 30 yards out.
But 30 yards out. Looks like. Is that Frater that's taking it?
Looks like it.
Oh!
Good hit from Frater. All of 30 yards out. He wasn't going quite so much for power there. He was looking to maybe work a little bend, drag the ball from the centre of the goal to the far right top corner. Didn't quite get it down low enough. The Tucson goalkeeper flapped a hand at it, but it went over the crossbar without being touched, and Tucson had the goal kick. So, what do you think? Can we call that 2 scoring opportunities so far, one for either team?
Yeah, the Tucson keeper. Sorry to stop there. The wind here seems to have picked up. It's that goal kick that he just kicked. It just really hung up in the air. The wind looks to like it's blowing into the north from the south. So
Jason was worried that our commentary wasn't working, that tech was going to fail us. But I'm just having a quick look on Twitter here, and I can see that we have several comments from folks listening to the feed. Glad you're enjoying it. We'll come back to Twitter here in just a moment. Tucson have a free kick just inside the Switchbacks half. Smart free kick out to the left-hand side. Ball drives across the middle. Almost an own goal.
Boy, that would have been bad.
That really would have been smart thinking from Tucson. They had a free kick just inside the Switchbacks half. Slid the ball down to the left back, who I apologise again from our vantage point. I can't see his shirt number, but whoever he was, he found himself in space. Put a great ball across the middle of the Switchbacks penalty area. Gutierrez turned it away. Could have so easily been an own goal. And Tucson have a corner now on this west side of the field. Southwest corner. My apologies. Southwest corner of the field. Hands aloft, delivering the corner. Flicked out by, I think that was actually McFarlane getting back to support, and the ball comes out to Frater. Oh, nice turn. Yeah, really nice turn. Frater with the double drag pulls himself away from about 3 Tucson players who ultimately have to bundle him to the floor. There's the only way they could.
Yeah, Frater just got trucked over by Sebastian Panetta.
The referee flag play on. King won the ball back for the Switchbacks in the middle of the park. It came to nothing though.
Yeah, what it looked like there was Frater got fouled pretty hard, and looked like Kim went in to repay the favor, and both teams just stopped, expecting it was such an obvious foul, except for the referee who signaled play on.
Yeah, I think that was definitely a case of Kim saying, "Thanks for the payment, here's your change."
Yeah.
Tucson had the ball now. Free kick inside their half. They drill it long, looking for Pinero again, out on the left now. He's pulled wide. He very smartly turns, nutmegs his marker, slides the ball into the middle, but it gets intercepted, I think, by Jake Causey. Ball now drifted out to the right by Tucson. Carl Hinkson. Hinkson squared up by Suggs. Suggs does a nice job of unbalancing Hinkson. Oh, good job, Jack. Jason, talk us through that as a goalkeeper.
Well, the ball went out, and it looked like he took a high shot. And as we're talking about with the sun earlier, the clouds are moving in and moving out. And just for a brief second there, Dan Jackson had his eyes shielded from the sun, and it was a much more difficult ball than it would have been under normal circumstances. And he did good to find that and get it at its highest point, because he was challenged by number 19 there, Pinero.
Yeah, he's been very busy so far. I've been very impressed with Pinero.
Yep.
So as Jason mentioned, Jackson did a good job under pressure, grabbing the ball to his chest, distributed it quickly. Switchbacks not having much love right now in Tucson's half, though they have earned themselves a free kick. Again, we're struggling a little with mobility. Well, I think also we're struggling a little bit with that individual trickery, Jason. Without Vocaloni on the field, without Cash on the field, I'm not really seeing players out there who are necessarily going to hurt you one-on-one. But anyway, let's just hold that thought for a second, because we have a free kick for the Switchbacks on the far side of the field, about 30 yards out. It's to the corner, though. It's out to the corner of the goal. Being delivered, I think, I think that's Eddie Prue.
I think it's Connor Bevins.
Oh, excuse me.
It's Connor Bevins playing it off his left,
Good
swings
ball.
it in. Ball's in the
Oh,
box.
surely, what a stop!
It's in!
The Switchbacks have scored! Good grief, that pinged around in there. It looked like it could be anyone's. And at the end of the day, I'm not exactly sure whose it was. Connor Bevins delivered a great free kick into the box. The ball pinged around. It looked like maybe McFarlane had the first shot, blocked by a Tucson defender. Pinged out again. Tucson couldn't clear the ball. The Switchbacks refused to give up on it. And no more than maybe 7 or 8 yards out.
Wait.
Ah, it looks like it's been called back. Is that a free kick?
I didn't see a flag up, and I didn't hear a foul called. And
First thing I looked for. Well, the referee saw some kind of an infringement. So whoever our mystery goal scorer was, it's neither here nor there, because the Switchbacks and Tucson remain at 0-0. Huh.
Yeah, I didn't.
Ball back. You think there was a lot of pushing and shoving. The ball was pinging around. It could be a handball. It could be maybe a holding call.
Yeah, there really didn't seem to be much dispute about it.
Jason, that is cruel. That's the first goal we had a chance to call, and they call it back.
Yeah,
That's It's all a detail. You know what? It was such an unclean goal that we didn't really get to do the glamorous play-by-play on it. So that's okay. Calling it back's not a big problem. I want a 30-yarder that someone pulls out of the air, turns inside of his defender, and lashes it into the upper 90. That's what I'd like to call, hopefully, for the Switchbacks tonight. Anyway, number 7, Kate Schmidt for Tucson, has the ball in the middle of the park, tries to feed it out left, gets intercepted. Oof! Freighter gets flattened again. They're not fans of Freighter tonight, are they?
Oh, what? Oh.
No, it was a quick free kick, but the referee called it back. He has a conversation he needs to be having with a couple of the Tucson players.
Looks like he's having a chat with Daniel Crutzen, number 20.
Pinero's gone over now to actually talk to the ref. We didn't get confirmation of who the Tucson captain was tonight, so I apologise, we don't know that. It may be that it is Pinero, and maybe went over there to represent his teammate. Either way, the Switchbacks have a free kick inside their half. Drifted out to the edge of the Tucson box. Again, it just pings around, so untidy. No one's able to really get a head or a foot on it. Tucson now trying to work the ball out the backfield. Switchbacks intercept once again. Freighter tries to gather and gets tripped.
Oh.
And here's a card.
Yep.
The referee is pointing to 3 different spots on the field as he issues the first yellow card of the game. FC Tucson, this player, I shall tell you who in a second. He has turned around to show us his number, but of course the referee is between us and him, so we can't see the number. We'll give that to you here in just a second.
If I didn't know better, I would say the ref is deliberately trying to block our view from whoever he's talking to.
Come on, ref, it's our first game. Give us a break.
Throw us a bone.
It's the guy with the green boots, Jason. Green boot guy.
I believe that's 16.
16, which is Nico Salabrieta. I know I butchered that, but
yeah.
Let's go with Nico, number 16. And the Switchbacks free kick drifted into the box by Connor Bevins again to the back post. Headed back to the middle of the field, but Tucson do a nice job of clearing it. And for Park to gather, to recycle it from right to left through Gutierrez. The ball is drilled out. Oh, good touch. The ball is drilled out to the left-hand side and was gathered beautifully. I think it was Prue that gathered the ball in. Lovely first touch out of the air. Unfortunately, the second touch wasn't quite as crisp. The ball was blocked, and it's gone for a Switchbacks corner. So Josh Suggs once more in this northwest corner, looking to deliver the ball into the danger area. Nice corner.
Oh, there it is! Oh!
Did that go wide? Goodness gracious. It was McFarlane.
Yep, Suggs played a beautiful outswinging ball to the far post, and McFarlane was there. Was that McFarlane or was that Freighter?
It was McFarlane. He rose like a salmon, a hired gun at centre forward, looking to score his second goal in as many games, and I really don't know how that went wide. Even though he was pretty much unchallenged, he managed to head the ball just wide of the far post. He has the ball now, though, feeds it out to Park. Park gathers nicely here on the left-hand side. Squares up to Hinkson. Takes him and cuts back. Now he's looking for switchbacks players in the middle. Lays the ball back to Prue, but the ball's intercepted on the way. Abusi gathers it though and drills it back out the left to Park. Park back to Suggs. Suggs picks his head up, puts the ball in the middle of the box, hoping somebody can connect with it. All he ends up doing is splitting McFarlane and Freighter. Neither are able to make contact, but an FC Tucson defender did, and so we have yet another switchbacks corner. This time out on the northeast corner. So this means Suggs gets to swing it in, Jason.
Yeah, that's what I was just curious if he was going to line up to do an in-swinger. We know he can score from this. He's done it twice so far last season.
Here we go. Josh Suggs with the corner, raises his right hand, drops the ball into the middle of the box. Oh! McFarlane again!
No, that was Pascal.
It was Pascal, excuse me. Yep. Yes, it was. You know, I knew that the minute I'd said it, because once he hit the deck, he started slamming the deck with his hand, which is the Pascal thing to do. Pascal Abusi, switchback centre-back. With the floodlights on, we're getting a little glare off the windows here in the commentary box, and it is making it really difficult to see the north penalty box. I may have to lean out the window here, Jason, so I'm not trying to look through glass.
And just walk the laptop out in the sands.
That way my player identification will be more on point. Freighter on the right-hand side, looks to cut inside the box. Great defending from Tucson. Number 2, Sebastian Pineda sticks a foot out and stops Freighter's run. Ball gets played out and makes its way back to Freighter. Pineda is on him like a second skin. Wins the ball back for Tucson. Now they're feeding the ball from left to right. Number 7, Tate Schmidt. Schmidt feeds it back to left, and the ball's dropped in behind switchback's defence. Oh, a heavy touch there. And then Gutierrez to the back. Done. That was Alfonso Pinero. Almost had a fight on switchback's goal. The ball got flicked over the top. I think it was Bevins maybe who tried to clear it at the top of his head. Skipped in behind him, allowing Pinero to get in behind him and into the switchback's box. His first touch though was heavy, which enabled Gutierrez to slide in and clear the ball for a Tucson corner. That looked dangerous. And here we go. Tucson taking a corner from the southeast side of the field. Good grief. There are a lot of players right now off these corners, Jason, dropping to the floor, clutching their heads, knowing they possibly could have done better. And Tucson maybe could have converted that. Back post, number 7, Tate Schmidt. He either went up a little early, didn't hang long enough. He got something wrong. He certainly felt like he got something wrong, because as he came to ground, he was holding his head, clearly wishing he'd had that one back. Hey, Jason, I'm seeing a beautiful banner on the far side of the field there by base camp. Can you make out what that is?
Hey, that's our banner.
It's the Backchat Show banner! Shameless plug, shameless plug. Oh, good flick! Is McFarlane going to shake his marker? Well, he can, but the goalkeeper for Tucson was alert, slid out and gathered the ball up comfortably. There's a goal kick. Jackson flicked on from midfield. McFarlane almost in behind the defence. Good work from the goalkeeper. Coming back to Twitter, we have listeners all over the place. Obviously some here in Colorado Springs, some on the East Coast. Hey, Luke Vercoloni out there. How's it going, buddy? He has his son with him. Luke obviously not playing this evening. Hey, Luke, how's it going? Yeah, we'll come to halftime. Fantastic. You heard it, guys. Luke Vercoloni joining us at halftime. Fantastic. Well, Jason, that was something to talk about at halftime.
Yeah.
How we feel about that.
Yeah, it's excellent. Excellent.
Anyway, Colorado Springs got folks here from the East Coast. Tucson, obviously. We also have somebody here goes by MACKEMH8ER on Twitter, listening in Jakarta in Indonesia.
Wow.
Yeah. So you're welcome. Thank you for the thank you. I hope you're enjoying it.
You know, and maybe you can confirm this for me or not, but it looks like in the past 10 minutes or so, the play is really starting to open up. It's gone really box to box, and
it seems like both teams are playing long.
Yeah, the pace has picked up, and it's gotten a little more physical too.
Yeah. They've dispensed with trying to hand the ball off from one to another through midfield, and instead looking to drop the ball over their respective opponents' defences. Don't know if this is truly a change in strategy or if this is a product of frustration. with both teams having come close in the last few minutes. As far as listeners are concerned, I do want to give a shout out to the wonderfully named Cactus Pricks.
I love that. I love that.
Props to you guys. They are the official supporters group of FC Tucson, who I understand are listening to the game tonight at Playground Bar and Lounge in Tucson. Hopefully you're enjoying our commentary, guys. Your boys are doing you proud right now. I would say it's a pretty even game at this point. Switchbacks maybe have the edge, as one might expect, but FC Tucson are definitely hanging with them, as was underscored by a great tackle there from Pinada, nipping it in ahead of Freighter again. That's one thing I'll say about FC Tucson, Jason. They're really competing all over the park.
Yeah, they're
man for man, they're standing up, being counted.
They're definitely fighting over every ball. And looks like number 7 there just got sent.
A little love bump there. Soaks has the ball out left, tries to find Park down the left wing. Tucson do another great job of clearing the ball out, only as far though as Causey. Causey's not able to control, and the ball rolls back to Tucson in defense.
Pineda. They work it back to, looks like working it back to the keeper, trying to set up. And keeper finally plays it long and overshoots everyone, and nope.
Abusi decides, no, I'm not going to let Jackson have it. And he cuts the ball back and then looks for the long drive down the right, trying to find Freighter, who, surprise, surprise, is fouled. You know, I do admire FC Tucson's aggression and the heart and their willingness to fight for every ball. But man, when it comes to Freighter, it looks like they're not even going for the ball.
Oh yeah, Freighter is going to have some bruises, and he's going to definitely spend some time at the cryo spa either this weekend or next.
So, Switchbacks with another free kick out on the right-hand side. I'd say this one is a good. It's getting up at maybe 40 yards out. It looks like it's Bevins stood over it. Rolls it to Causey, back to Bevins. Flicks the ball into the box. It's cleared out easily by Tucson. It's Causey again, back out to Park. He rolls the ball to Gutierrez. Gutierrez's pass gets intercepted by number 12, Moshi Perez. Great work done from Kim.
Boy.
Kim didn't think Perez carry the ball as far as defense. He shut him down.
And if he didn't shut him down, that would have been right to Dan Jackson. Boy, if that had to be a perfect defensive play, because if he did that wrong, that could have been a denying a goal-scoring opportunity. And
so yellow card Kim, which is what we've nicknamed him, hasn't yet picked up a yellow card, and like Jason said, he could have done so there had he not got the tackle just right. However, in the following sequence of play, Tucson won the ball back, played it on the left, and the Switchbacks cleared for another corner, which Tucson are now getting ready to take from the southeast corner. Oh my gosh, it bounces all the way through, finds its way to the back post. Can Tucson convert?
Oh,
Jackson
boy.
Up. The Switchbacks really need to get on top of their defence here.
Yeah,
that ball found its way to the back post far too easily. It was a great corner. It came out to Tate Schmidt on the back post, bounced up in front of him. He tried an ambitious volley, didn't make its way through to goal. On the ricochet, found its way to the back post where a Tucson teammate was waiting, ready to convert. Wasn't able to get enough of it, and Jackson gratefully pounced on the ball and gobbled it up.
Oh!
On the attack again, though! This time Pinero just inside the box.
Dan Jackson coming up huge.
There's another great run from Hinkson. I've been really impressed with Hinkson so far. He's doing what our fullbacks do. He's really pressing our back line, giving the overload, providing that extra man. And he had space there to deliver the ball, and Pinero almost finishing at the front post. Jackson getting down quickly to block that shot.
Well, here in the 37th minute, we just had this run of Tucson putting pressure on and having Dan Jackson. As I say that, now Park is running the ball up.
But look how many players he has around him, Jason. This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
FC Tucson are hunting in packs. They're not allowing themselves to get pulled out of shape. They're sliding across the field as a unit, not allowing any holes to develop between players. making the play really congested. When the Switchbacks get the ball in FC Tucson's half, the play becomes that much more congested. Right now, the Switchbacks had the ball in their own half, and Tucson are letting them have it. Gutierrez, perhaps out of frustration, angles a long ball out toward Freitas. Doesn't get anywhere near him. Ball finds its way back to Kim in the middle of the park. Now Bevins angles the ball from right to left. Trying to find McFarlane, I think it is. Excuse me, Freitas. That's interesting. Just that. That was an honest confusion on this occasion because Freitas actually transitioned from the right to the left. And I wonder if that's in response to some of the rough justice he's been getting on the other side of the field.
That may be.
Anyway, Switchbacks have a corner. Josh Suggs once more. Out here on the northwest side of the ground. Raises his right arm once more. Delivers a good ball into the middle of the box. Oh! McFarlane almost connects. McFarlane this time! Oh! Just over the crossbar. So McFarlane missed the initial corner. The ball dropped to the back post. It was Gutierrez actually. Gobble up the ball. Drops a lovely ball from right to centre onto McFarlane's head. But his glancing header just over the bar. Jason, there are goals in that our game. Just need the first one to go in, and I think we could have a really interesting match on our hands.
Yeah, this could legitimately be a several score game either way.
So Tucson have the ball on the left hand side. Switchbacks rather letting them have it. Moving the ball around in the middle third of the field. You know what it actually looks like, Jason? It looks like the Switchbacks have changed things up a little bit. Looks like Freitas has gone to centre forward. McFarlane maybe has gone out to the right. Well, as much as I appreciate the skills and efforts of Cian McFarlane, I would put money on Freitas in front of goal before I put money on McFarlane. No disrespect to McFarlane, but Freitas is an out-and-out forward, and you've got to feel good about having him in that centre-forward position now. Switchbacks have the ball in the middle third. Tucson do a great job, though, to win it back. Again, a couple of players around the Switchbacks player there, determined to win the ball back. They have the ball on the left-hand side of the field now, transition it to the middle, trying to slide in Pinheiro again. Oh, nice work from Abusi. Just tippy-toes his way around his marker. Feeds the ball out, but doesn't make it too far. And in fact, as Prue goes to gather the ball up, there's a sliding, studs showing tackle from Tucson's number 15, Austin Polster, who catches Prue. Both players are on the floor now. Polster's rolling around. I think Polster's rolling around quite simply because he either trying to avoid getting a card or have the ref take pity on him and have the colour of the card be more favourable. And in fact it is. It's a yellow card. It wasn't a red card offence, but it was certainly a yellow card offence, and that's what Polster has been given. Prue is up though after a brief treatment from the physio.
So for those of you scoring at home, we're in the 41st minute now.
We are going to take a quick look at Facebook at halftime as well, see what comments we have on there from Switchbacks fans, and if we have any comments from FC Tucson fans as well. FC Tucson fans, please feel free to go ahead and drop your comments on any of the supporter group pages. The largest supporters group for the Switchbacks is the Trailheads. Their page tends to be the most active. But I also want to give a shout out as well to Zeb's Rangers and the Bruisers, two other supporters groups that have Facebook pages as well. But if you want to drop some comments in there, we'll definitely call them out at halftime. We check out what our fellow Switchbacks fans have to say. So the Switchbacks restart the game. It's Abusi with a free kick. Just lays the ball across to his central defensive partner Gutierrez, who in turn slides it to Josh Suggs on the left. Suggs drops the ball into Freitas at centre forward. Freitas rolls away from two markers and then cuts back and gets the top down. Yeah.
Got a cleat to the knee for his efforts.
Carrying like this, Tucson, you have to rename yourselves. Can't be Men in Black, it's going to need to be Lumberjacks. Timber! So, Switchbacks have yet another free kick.
About 40 yards away.
A lot of jockeying around the edge of the box. As the ball gets dropped in by Bevins, it's going to go long though. Easily gathered by the Tucson keeper. Nothing to trouble him there. Ball's drilled long. Tucson gather at the edge of the box, the edge of the Switchbacks box, but the Switchbacks win it back and are looking for the transition. There is nothing on though. There is just nothing on. And Tucson are nipping away at McFarlane's heels. McFarlane tries to turn.
Wow. They were in his back pocket and taking his credit cards. And
I don't understand how the referee didn't give something there other than a throw in, but still, that's what the Switchbacks have for their troubles. You know, the Switchbacks are just going to have to up the ante a little bit here, Jason. If they feel they're getting out-muscled in this game, well, they need to turn the screw a little bit themselves.
Yes.
Gutierrez slides it out to Suggs on the left. Suggs tries to find Park, slips as he makes the pass, and it's out of play. Number 7, Tate Schmidt for FC Tucson, has the ball. And I apologise, FC Tucson listeners. I am very mindful of the fact that I'm not calling out your players' names as frequently as I am Switchbacks' names. I do hope you'll forgive us. Obviously, we're not as familiar with your guys as we are as with ours. We're trying to stay on top of this as best we can. Nicely, the throw was nicely intercepted by Jake Causey, who's looked very active this first half, putting himself about. Hasn't been able to do much for us offensively, but he and Eddie Prue and Kim in the middle of the park have been working really, really hard to try and stifle FC Tucson's play through the centre of the park, which I think is part of the reason that they have started going along with their play. Can't blame them. However, they can get to goal. Number 7, Tate Schmidt again, rolls in. Pinero again. Pinero tries to cross from the right, but it gets blocked by Josh Suggs. And it's out for another throw-in, which is going to be taken by Carl Hinkson. Ball's back in. Eddie Prue receives the ball in the little park. Oh, gosh, just neither team is really connecting that final ball.
Well, I think you're definitely seeing the infamiliarity that the Switchbacks don't have with they just don't have that cohesiveness. We've seen several times players.
It's a great point.
Miss hitting balls or gesturing after play that they're wanting someone to come forward to get the ball or someone to overlap.
Now, miss hit is a product of timing, right? Because
Absolutely.
they're not sure if someone's going to make the run or if they're going to come short. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of uncertainty in the play out there.
They're putting balls in parts of the field where they're expecting a teammate to be, and there's just not that teammate there.
Tucson trying to force their hand in their attacking third. The Switchbacks, though, doing a nice job of smothering Tucson's efforts. Ball comes out to Bevins on the right. He drills it down the right. And the official on the far side has indicated there'll be 1 minute of additional time this first half, which seems just about right. Tucson again trying to make hay down the left-hand side of the field. Not finding any joy right now. Sliding into the middle. Oh, nice flick. That was a nice flick from Pinero. Trying to put in Schmidt. Didn't quite come off, though. And the Switchbacks clear, but only as far as halfway, where Tucson gobble the ball up once more.
And reset again, and they played. That's a good ball.
Nice ball out to Hinkson. Oh, we can't quite make it. Hinkson was looking for the overlapping run, tucking in behind Suggs, trying to connect with a crossfield ball from left to right. Didn't quite come off for him on this occasion.
And it looked like Suggs was caught looking on that one because he was on his heels.
Nice step from Kim, getting away from two markers, lays it to Park, but Park gives the ball up. Now Tucson are in possession in the middle third. Good job from Prue, tries to win the ball back. The ball only goes as far as Perez. Perez works it out to the right, but his pass is wayward and Suggs is able to shepherd him out for a Switchbacks goal kick. And the referee has signalled end of the first half. Switchbacks 0, FC Tucson 0. Overall, Jason, good first half, underwhelming. What are your thoughts?
Well, you can definitely.
I mean, we were great.
Yeah, we should be winning 10-0. No, I think my giveaway in this is that Tucson looks more like a much more cohesive team. They look like players that have played together. The Switchbacks look like 11 guys who aren't familiar with each other, who are just not on step. Individually on one-on-ones, the Switchbacks definitely have the better of the class, but as a whole team, I think Tucson could have came away there with the goal or not. And yeah. And
hey, how's it going? So we are joined now in the commentary box by Luke Brookloni of the Switchbacks. Hey, Luke, how's it going?
Everything's good, Mark. Thanks for having me, guys.
And Luke is here with his bodyguard. What's your name, young man? Hey, buddy, how's it going? Good. Do you like soccer? Who's your favorite player? Well, your favorite player is the guy stood behind you, right? Oh, okay. Sorry.
He's a smart lad. Messi and then me, right? There you go.
Good pick. So, Luke, how you doing?
I've been better. Hanging in there.
Not happy not seeing you out on the field tonight. What's that all about?
Yeah, I picked up a slight injury yesterday at training. I was hoping to be out there tonight, but I'm going to have to wait it out a little bit longer. Guess I wasn't ready to be back in. I might have pushed it a little bit, and my body said, hold off.
Nothing too serious, though. We hope we might see you involved in the next game.
No.
You're on the spot.
Yeah, at the Switchbacks, we try to keep the injuries pretty close to us, and but I don't imagine I'll be playing in Salt Lake, but I hope to be back next week. We'll see. Who knows? One day at a time.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I'm not happy. We need you involved. So, Luke, what do you think of the first half? 0-0, obviously, at halftime. No goals to speak of. But what do you think of how the Switchbacks played, and what are your thoughts on Tucson?
Tucson looks good, to give them credit. I was impressed with them. They're athletic. They're physical. They're taking their chances, too. They're not sitting back as much as I thought they would. They're actually stepping up. We had a lot of free kicks, a lot of corner kicks. We had some really good chances off of those. You probably had a better angle on that handball that they called back. Was that? I didn't
Honestly,
see too many
you didn't,
complaints.
because we were talking about how when the floodlights came on, we had some real glare here.
Okay.
So looking through this glass, we couldn't make out whether it was a call because someone got pulled back or if it was a handball. But it looked like a handball call, huh?
Looked like a handball call, and I didn't see it from the stands, but we didn't put up too much of an argument, so it was probably the right call. But that was obviously disappointing not to finish that chance and then knocking on the door. But they had some chances too. It seems like they're stepping high, but they're leaving themselves vulnerable. So it's a really back and forth game. I expect that our fitness and hopefully our quality comes through in the second half, and we get a good 2-0 result win.
It's interesting you should make that point, because we were saying much the same thing in that it seemed like for the first half of the first half, neither team wanted to give up much. Both teams were kind of holding their shape. They were kind of just jockeying, trying to get a sense of what the other had to offer. And then as the half wore on, it did look like both teams were starting to go a little more direct. It looked like the Switchbacks were trying to stretch Tucson and get in behind them, which they almost did a couple of times. Mm-hmm. Do you think Freitas, in particular, can exploit that in the second half?
I hope so. He's such a quality player. I'm excited about him breaking through, and I just think he needs a goal, a little boost in confidence, and he has a lot of potential. I see him having a really good second half of the season if he can finally get a little momentum going. So I'm hoping he pulls through. I mean, I know Sion's been playing well attacking, and Parkey there as well. So, I mean, I think, what's his name, on the free kicks there, Josh is sending in some great balls, and Pascal is going to get on the end. He'll get on the end of a couple more. He was on the end of like 4 other chances this first half. So I don't know who it's going to be, but we're going to get 1 or 2. I can feel it.
Josh Phillips is not going to be happy if Abusi scores before him.
Right? Hey, if it comes off his foot, though, for the assist, he'll be happy.
Now,
Josh Phillips. Yeah,
were you as surprised as we were to see McFarlane at centre forward?
Yeah, when I found out yesterday, I was pretty surprised. But, when we put him up there against Vancouver, he was dangerous. He scored a goal, and he created another really good chance, too. So he's just so athletic, and he's got the desire for the ball, and he can strike it well. So, I mean, put him anywhere, and he'll do his best and be pretty dangerous, too. So I was surprised, but I can see it from coach's perspective. It makes sense in a way, especially we're hurting a little bit numbers with some attacking players. You got to be a little creative at this point.
So you're going with the Switchbacks 2-0. That's the Luke Brooke prediction.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Right. Does Luke have a?
Shut up.
Does he have a team in our prediction league? Oh, I see. Well, his points can go to me if it pans out.
Yes, fair enough. I'll take it.
Good stuff. Well, thanks so much, Luke Vercoloni. We do really appreciate you joining us here on our maiden commentary. I don't know how we're doing. I'm not even. I don't even want to listen. I don't even want to listen back to this, but it's certainly been fun, and we definitely appreciate Luke joining us. And I want to see you back out on the field here soon, Luke.
Yeah.
You're one of the most important players on the roster, so the sooner we can get you back out there, the better.
Hope to be there soon. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Go Switchbacks.
No worries, man.
Thanks for all the support, guys. Good stuff.
So Messi's your favorite player, and then it's Luke
Thank you.
Vercoloni. Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, that's right. That's not bad at all. Cheers, Luke.
That was awesome.
That was fantastic. Luke's a great guy. He really has. Always has time for back chat. One of the first players we were able to spend time with first season and really get to know. And obviously he's been with the Switchbacks since day one, very first signing for the team, and definitely appreciate him spending some time with us this evening. So let's have a quick look at Twitter and Facebook and see what's going down. Jason, I'm going to task you with something here. Do you want to have a quick look at the US Open Cup and see how the other results are panning out? And give us a load on that in just a second.
Well,
I'll jump onto the Trailheads page first, see what we have on here. Annie Kaufman's giving us a hard time.
Annie.
Please practice Tucson players' names. We really hate to have to rag on you. Yeah, that ship has sailed, Annie. If you've been listening to the broadcast, yeah, we're doing the best we can.
My poor son is over in base camp, where it's normally occupied by the Trailheads, but apparently he's the only one willing to stand for the full 90 in this game by himself. That's on you, Annie. That's on you.
We have Misty Schroeder here. Let's see what she has to say.
You know, one upset I'm just seeing right now is that Reading United AC defeated the New York Cosmos 3-2.
Really?
Knocking them out. Never even heard of Reading.
There's a Reading in England, but I'm assuming they're not the same.
Probably not playing in the Open Cup.
No.
Trying to track down the Energy, whatever team the Energy's playing, scores. So did you agree with Vercoloni's assessment of the first half? Do you going to disagree with Mr. Switchback?
I am going to disagree with Mr. Switchback. I don't want to disagree with him. I'd love to see a 2-0 Switchbacks victory. I think before a ball was kicked, that probably would have been a result that a lot of Switchbacks fans would have gone with, a 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, based upon our previous second round displays in past years. But this game made me nervous. I don't know why. When I woke up this morning, I woke up with nerves. Those nerves have not subsided, and Tucson's performance in the first half has really only compounded my anxiety. I thought they looked really good. The one thing I'd say is they didn't look spectacularly technical. It didn't look like they were going to carve us open at any given moment in time, but we've seen this season all too often there are mistakes in our defence. We've got some great players out there. You know, that many of them are still learning their craft, so I don't mean to sound too overcritical. But we have nonetheless seen unforced errors, I think is the term this season, that led to opposition goals. And obviously playing USL opposition, they tend to be able to penalise you, punish you on those... sorry, just watching the subs warm up here. Like a professional commentator, I'm allowing myself to be distracted by seeing the subs warm up. But anyway...
Squirrel!
And maybe a PDL team wouldn't as readily be able to take advantage of those mistakes, but if the Switchbacks were to shoot themselves in the first few minutes into the second half and Tucson were to take advantage of that, I think it could make for a very nervy second half. That being said, I will agree with Luke that we have more than enough firepower on this team, more than enough quality on this team to get the job done as we should.
Yeah, well, what worries me is that Tucson, when they had to go into halftime having some confidence, saying, hey, we come up here to the altitude and we hung good with this USL team, whereas we're going into halftime thinking, boy, we're just one breakdown away from being the New York Cosmos and getting knocked out of our first game in the U.S. Open. So I think the first 10 minutes will definitely be telling. Whether or not we can, Trichu sends the hounds out to...
I don't think he will at the beginning of the second half. I think if we don't see any change in the score by 60, 65 minutes in, then I think we could see maybe a couple of the big guns take to the field. I've got to say, I began saying Missy Schroeder. Missy was having technical issues. She's been able to get onto the link subsequently, so I'm not sure whether to be happy for her or feel sorry for her. But Missy, as I know you're now listening, I want to tell you that Jack Jones is directly outside of the commentary box here, down on the field.
Glorious locks.
Oh, look at those locks, unfurled like the mane of a lion. He is every bit the athlete.
Before the season's over, we need to make his hair the man of the match.
Yeah, he's an Adonis. Let's be honest.
Yeah, maybe sharing that with Jordan Burt's mustache.
Jordan Burt's mustache is questionable. I'm not going to liken it to other people's mustaches because that would take me into a round that, even though I'm not a proper commentator, would not be appropriate for a commentator to broach. So I'm going to stray away from that topic. Jack Jones, though, warming up with... who's he warming up with here? Several other switchback subs. Again, of course, in the absence, with them not facing us and in the absence of having shirt numbers, it makes it hard.
Jack Jones is kicking it around with King and Justin Luthi, who I think it's the first time I've seen him at the stadium in several games.
Well, the boys are coming back out onto the field. Switchbacks head out first. We're going to see whether there are any changes and try and bring those to you ASAP. No sign of Tucson yet. Their subs are warming up the other end of the field, but no sign of the starting 11 just yet. So, Jason, based on what we saw in the first half, what do you think are the keys to a potential Switchbacks victory? Luke touched upon getting the ball over the top, stretching the defence, and taking the making the most of the opportunities that come from that. Do you feel that's the way the Switchbacks are going to break through? Have you seen other things out there that suggest we can find goals from elsewhere in the field?
I think that's definitely the only way that we're going to get through. Our tendency over the years with Trichu has been to hang back the deeper into a game we get and the closer the game is. And I have a feeling that if we just sit back in our defensive third and kind of turtle up, that's not going to play well for us against a young team that has it in the back of their head now that they could beat us. And
I want to see our guys go at it strong second half because we know the altitude is going to play a factor.
Yes.
So I want to see us really for the first 15 minutes push and stretch and probe all over the field. I want us to really run down Tucson in this first 15-20 minutes of the second half because I think it'll make the last 20-25 minutes of the half easier on us. Got to get that shift in now, though. Wasn't much of it happening in the first half. I think both teams were a little cautious and were waiting waiting for mistakes to happen and to try and make the most of those. But I want to see the Switchbacks beginning of the second half force those errors or create something through their own effort, through really putting the pedal down now.
Yeah, and that's really what they're going to need to do. I think that's what I was saying. I wouldn't be surprised if Trichu came out in the second half and just said, go for broke, release the hounds, and get 1-2 goals so he can sit back, relax, and not worry about risking any of the full-time starters. I think if we can get out of this game without having to put in, Cashier or Josh Phillips, even getting Josh Suggs out of there, I think that would be the primary goal.
I agree with you. And you mentioned Luthi just a few moments ago. I wouldn't be surprised if we are able to get a goal or two up. So Luthi maybe take to the field as well, get him a few minutes as well. I don't know whether Jackson will complete the entire game. I guess time will tell. I want to go back to my comment earlier in the first half where I mentioned we had listeners from all over the place. I know that Jake Causey's dad is listening back in Blighty, back in good old England. So hello, Mr. Causey. I hope you're enjoying the commentary. I know Jake hasn't been too involved in the game as of yet. Been a lot of balls flying over his head, so it's not really been his fault. Hopefully we'll see him get more involved this second half, see the ball at his feet. And maybe, who knows, he'll get one on frame perhaps. We'll see. But thanks again for listening.
And for those of you following at home, last I saw, Oklahoma City was up 3-1 over their opponents, and I forget their names. I was scrolling through Twitter. Last I saw, it was 3-1 in the second half. So It looks like the Energy is doing their part.
Okay. So of course the winner of this game will host OKC Energy, and of course we hope that will be the Switchbacks. The next 45 minutes and change will reveal all. The referee is putting the whistle to his lips. He's checking with both goalkeepers. The Switchbacks have kick-off this second half. That wasn't me, that was a horn from across the field. The referee now has removed the whistle from his lips. He's having a conversation with one of the Switchbacks players. I think it's Jake. No, yeah, I think it is Jake.
Suggs.
No, it's Suggs. Yep, you're right, Suggs. Jake's over here on this side.
Well, I guess maybe the ref is waiting for his pizza to show up. They're just all kind of standing around. There we go.
He was waiting for Eric Singer to tell him that it's about time for the second half. Eric has done that. And we are ready to go.
Are we allowed to play soccer without Eric Singer saying it's time to play?
It's McFarlane to kick off. Rolls the ball back to Causey, who sidesteps the onrushing Tucson player. Drills the ball out to Freighter, who now is back on the right wing. McFarlane has moved back into the middle. And the ball goes out for a throw-in. It's Kim. Out to Freighter. Rolls the ball back to Prue. Prue into McFarlane. Shields the ball. Turns on the edge of the box. Trying to create an opportunity to shoot. Rolls it back to Prue, who does drive the ball, but into a Tucson defender. Nice cut here from... Oh, good shot, and it's in! It's in, and it's Josh Suggs.
I think that was Park.
You sure? It looks like Josh Suggs.
Well, let's see who's getting all the hugs.
It's Suggs or Park. It's Park.
Excellent.
It's Park. The good work from McFarlane in the middle of the field, on the edge of the box. Turned face up to his man. Tried to create an opportunity to shoot. Wasn't able to create the opening. Worked the ball out to Park on the left. Took a touch and then drilled the ball in from the left-hand side of the box into the bottom left-hand corner. Tucson goalkeeper didn't really have a chance with that. And the Switchbacks take the lead, 1-0, which I'm sure is exactly the start Steve Switchu. Are you checking? Yep, it's Park. I guess there was some confusion right across the press box here. Not quite sure who tucked that in. As Park received the ball, he cut inside of two defenders and was shielded from us momentarily. So I was going by boots. I was going by boot colour.
Yeah, he cut it in just right there inside the box, cut it in onto his right foot and put it in near post. Very reminiscent of Cashier's goal against Tulsa here several weeks ago.
The other end of the field, you're right. Yep. So for any Switchbacks fans who remember that goal, picture it. And Park's effort this evening wasn't a million miles away from that. So this will be interesting. The Switchbacks take the lead in the first few minutes of the second half. It'll be interesting to see what kind of effect this has on the Switchbacks and has on Tucson. If I was Tucson, I wouldn't be panicking at this point. Get a good first half. Oh, McFarlane has the ball now. Does really well to cut back and finish beautifully. 2-0. Great footwork. And see how McFarlane. I see that. The ball transitioned so quickly. Drilled out from the Switchbacks defence up to the front line. The ball was brought down. Really hoping it's Freighter. I think it was Freighter's first goal for the Switchbacks. Yes, it was Freighter. You know, I'm just going to go with my second guess every time. Freighter's enjoying that. He's waving to the crowd as as Eric over the loudspeaker asks that his name be cried and the fans comply. Freighter with his first goal for the Switchbacks. Anyway, yeah, he pulled the ball out of the air, long ball, dragged it down beautifully, turned his man twice to create enough space to side foot the ball from the edge of the box into the far corner, bottom far corner, beyond the hand of the outstretched Tucson goalkeeper. Well, Tucson now have a mountain to climb. I was just in the process of saying that I don't think Tucson, after the one goal, needed to panic. They did enough in the first half to suggest they could find their way back into this game, and they may yet still. But 2 goals in the first 6 or 7 minutes, well, that makes the job all that more difficult. That being said, we know that 2-0 is the most dangerous lead in football. So we'll see what the Switchbacks do next. Can they find a third? Or are they going to sit back? Frater again, lovely footwork. Sidesteps his man out on the right, then tries to follow the balls but farm, doesn't connect the pass. And Tucson have a corner. Ball got worked up the left-hand side of the field as we're looking at it, giving Tucson a corner in the northwest side of the field. It's actually a bit of a mess. I think maybe it was Bevins who went back to try and clear the ball. I think tried to clear it and hit his standing foot and went out for an unnecessary corner. These things happen. Let's hope that Tucson aren't able to make anything of it. Unless, of course, you're a Tucson fan listening, in which case you're praying that this is
The kick held up.
and draw your way back into the match.
It looks like the kick was held up while the ref had a discussion with a couple players.
Great corner. Really, just missed by a Tucson player. I think it was Pinero. Who stopped it gratefully. Drills it out of the box. Tucson, though, collect the ball from the throw. It's number 12. Perez down the left, steps inside his man, rolls it back for Berman. Berman, no place to go. Oh, does a really nice job though. Sidestep Marcus Lang out to the left to Sola Barrieta.
Who, right footer, about 15 yards. That one did not go out onto Barnes, but it was close.
So I want to give a shout out to Josh Howe and Ronan Vargish. Guys, I've always appreciated your efforts. I appreciate them so much more now. It's not always easy to keep track of players out here. Certainly more challenging than I anticipated. I can see now why Roland spends most of the game stood up. I think it gives him a better vantage point. He's always stood up, he's leaning, he's craning his neck, and now I get it.
Definitely gives us a new perspective next time we criticize another team's announce crew.
No, won't.
Because that was a questionable throw in there by Frater. He was in a squatting position when he threw it in.
Frater seems to be high on life right now. He really enjoyed that goal, and he enjoyed the adulation that followed from the fans. And like you just said, that was an unorthodox throw-in from a crouching position. But I like seeing Frater in this mood. He's a really good player, technically very strong. And I think he has the potential to have the same kind of impact on the game that Casher has had a couple of times already this season. Tucson at the ball now on the edge of the switchbacks box. He drops across to number 7 on the right-hand side, Tate Schmidt. Schmidt's trying to find space for the shot. Rolls it to Perez, who tries to thread it back. Schmidt. Ball gets blocked. And the switchback's clear. It's interesting, both... Well, the switchbacks a little less so at the beginning of the second half, but both teams still going the direct route, trying to feed the ball up, and then win possession, hold possession in the attacking third. Bring players up en masse and try and walk off the man with the ball. The switchbacks are moving the ball around a little more this half, maybe not as direct, but Tucson definitely maintaining that more direct approach at this point. Ball comes to McFarlane, tries to knock it back to Prue. Prue drifts the ball out to the right to Frater. Great touch from Frater. Nice defending though from Tucson. Looked like Frater maybe had the measure of his man there, but defender recovered nicely. It's Causey. Causey with a great ball into Frater and collects the ball from Frater. Tries to drift it into McFarlane. But again, great work from Sebastian Pineda. Did a really nice job of intercepting that last ball. Switchbacks with a throw.
Oh, Connor Bevins' long throw in, and it drifted to Park's feet just briefly before.
I don't think Park was expecting that, was he?
Yeah, he was.
And all the way from the right touchline to the far left corner of the goal, where Park allowed the ball to get caught under his feet somewhat. Do you think there was a shot there?
You know, I
Met it, huh? Looked like Bevins perhaps saw the Tucson keeper off his line and speculated, but nothing came of it. Tucson now had the ball Driving the ball long again, looking for number 16, Salabarrieta, who I really like as a player, but I don't like his name. I hope Tucson fans will allow me to call him Nico, because that way I won't be butchering his surname quite as much as I have been the entire game so far. Tucson with the throw-in. Here on the right-hand side. Nicely blocked by Causey. Now what can Causey do? Oh, slide rule pass from Causey. Beautiful ball to McFarlane, but McFarlane was fractionally offside, and the pass was perhaps a little heavy, but great idea from Causey. Had those pieces connected.
And
McFarlane would have been a goal.
they got McFarlane back up top again.
Yeah, they had it at the beginning of the second half. Way to stay up with me, Jason. Jason's going to hit me. Someone call my wife. Prue with the ball out to the right. Prue drills the ball. It stays in. No, it just was out at the last minute. It looked like maybe McFarlane can make something of that, but unfortunately not. Tucson have the throw here on the right-hand side. You know, one thing I have noticed, Jason, is when the Switchbacks score, I've always wondered why there's that moment of pause from Josh Howe and Ronan Vargish when they announce the goal scorer, and now I know why. Unlike us, unlike rabid fans that we are, with very minimal second, Tucson are building something here down the left. Now they cut into the middle, number 15, Austin Polster, but he gets dispossessed by Abusi. Abusi out to Freight on the right. Freight comes aside.
Beautiful.
They weren't there. Oh, skips by a third.
Don't.
Now McFarlane's picking the ball up. No, he allows Freighter to continue running with it. Freighter tries to backpedal it.
What happened is that he played that ball forward, but McFarlane was in an offside position, and they both just kind of ran alongside it.
Ball top though by Tucson. It's number 19 again, Pinero. Pinero squares up to Abusi, sidesteps him, rolls the ball back to Nico. Nico slides the ball into the middle to Polster. Polster gets his head up, tucks the ball inside to Perez, who flicks it up. Receives at the other side of his defender. The ball now finds its way out right. Drill back into the middle of the Switchbacks box. Cleared out though for a corner. Nice work by Tucson there.
Yeah,
nice work in tight places.
That was it's a shame that this isn't being televised, because that was a beautiful series of passes. It looks like we're going to have a
salt in the wounds. Poor Tucson fans listening. They've been advocating for this to be streamed all day long, and there you are. Oh, it's a shame this is not on.
I'm sorry.
Videoed.
You're missing a corner kick there.
Oh, corner kick. Cleared from Abusi. No real danger there. Anyways, as I was saying, now I know why Josh and Roland pause on a goal scorer, because unlike us, rabid fans with very little experience behind the mic, who just jump on the and just blurt out the first thing we see, or think we see, they actually pause. If you notice in their commentary, they tend to keep their powder dry for maybe 3 or 4 seconds before they announce the scorer, unless it's blatantly obvious, if it's a PK or a free kick that's found its way into the net directly. But typically they hold off, and clearly that's a trick of the trade. Hopefully the Switchbacks will score another goal, and I'll have the opportunity to demonstrate that for myself. So Tucson have made a couple of subs. They brought in number 24, Nick. Oh, great! Thanks for doing this to me, guys. Nick Harguindegai, and he's one of the few that we. Yeah, Harguindegai. Harguindegai. Let's go with Harguindegai. Harguindegai, okay. And unfortunately, we didn't see who the other sub was. It took... well, it looked like Tucson were going to sub, then they weren't going to sub, and then the linesman raised his flag horizontally again to indicate, yep, subs can come on. And then, before you knew it, Harguindegai was on our side of the field. The second... We're trying to hear from the announcer here at the stadium who that second sub was. I'm sure he'll be involved, and we can update you on that, guys, if FC Tucson haven't already done so on Twitter. Anyway, he came on very quickly, and he came onto the far side of the field, so we couldn't see his number. But we will give you that name here in just a few minutes, as soon as we're able to confirm it. Jason's doing his math. He's working through the sub numbers. Switchbacks have the ball on the right-hand side of the defence. Connor Bevins tucks it inside for Prue. Freighter tries to flick it to Prue in the channel. That's the second time that Freighter's gotten a little bit cheeky. I like what he's trying to do. Tucson might be through here. It's number 10 for Tucson. Surely he's going to score. He goes around Jackson. Jackson was enough just to hold the ball up, though.
Oh, they called it back offsides.
They called him offside. It was Danny Muskovsky. I think actually it was the second sub. So it was out of nothing. Tucson, it was off of that Freighter flick.
Boy, the official let that go on for a long time because there was 2 or 3 saves.
He really did. Well, what happened was Freighter tried to flick the ball back for Peru, got dispossessed. It was a little cheeky and unnecessary. And now the switchbacks hand the ball down the left-hand side. We'll come back to that other sequence here in just a moment. It's Park trying to find his way into the box, but great work from the Tucson defense, dispossessing Park and clearing. Anyhow, Tucson took the free, once Tucson had the ball back from Freighter, it was a long ball again to Muskovsky, who outstripped his marker, Gutierrez, then attempted to sidestep Jackson, which it looked like he had done, although Jackson was able, with an outstretched leg, to clip the ball and take it away from Muskovsky just enough to slow the play, at which point the referee blew the whistle to indicate offside. Didn't look to be offside to me. Obviously, we're not online here. I'll certainly take it without being too much of a homer. Nonetheless, Muskovsky looked very tidy on the ball, very composed, very dangerous. Tucson now playing the ball down the left. Crutzen. Crutzen rolls the ball back into Muskovsky. Muskovsky cuts inside of his marker, but runs out of field. Did a nice job there finding his way around Gutierrez again. Just a simple knock and run, but ran out of field. Much to the relief of the switchbacks. Well, we know that Tucson have goals in them. They scored 3 in the last round against Colorado opposition, beating Colorado Rush 3-1. They certainly have looked dangerous at points tonight. And Perez gets unceremoniously bundled to the ground there by Eddie Prue, just inside the switchbacks half. Feels like the wind's starting to pick up a little bit now. Thankfully the clouds, those ominous looking clouds, are not dropping anything at this point in time, but the wind has certainly picked up. You can tell by the linesman's flag and the players' jerseys. And also the fact that Joe Paisley from the Colorado Springs Gazette is to the left of us has put his hood up on his jacket. Nice delivery from Perez into the back post. The switchbacks box.
Yeah.
Boosty clears. There's a little pushing and shoving going on in there. The referee's blown his whistle. In favour of the switchbacks. That's up. It's time for the switchbacks. Who do we see, Jason?
It's Jack Jones time.
Jack Jones time! I've always wanted to do that.
Wow. We need to have some music in the background. It's Jack Jones time.
Oh, listeners, you should be grateful this is not a video. Jack Jones making his professional debut for the switchbacks, right?
Coming in for Sion McFarlane. Sion putting in a very good shift.
Jack Jones going straight into centre forward. Oh, how delicious would it be for the young debutant on his professional appearance for the switchbacks to score. We've seen him score in preseason games. We know he's capable of it. Let's see what the man with the most luxurious hair on the field can come up with for the switchbacks this evening. Just checking out Facebook here, and yes, some of our fellow Switchbacks fans are pointing out that it almost feels like on purpose Tucson is subbing out people with difficult names, only to sub in people with more difficult names. Such is the life of a commentator, though. Jack Jones with his first touch of the game. A header, flicking the ball into the path of Freighter. Unfortunately, Freighter's not able to get there, and Tucson clear.
Such is the life of a commentator. Like it's your first 60 minutes into your career, you're already complaining about it. Man.
Not complaining, just an observation. Terry also Brooks posted a meme here. Jason, want to name the movie for me?
Yeah, that escalated quickly.
Anchorman! It did indeed escalate quickly, Terry. Ooh. 1 goal became 2 in a matter of minutes, and the Switchbacks continue to hold that 2-0 nil advantage. Tucson had the ball out on the right-hand side, working it back into the middle. I think that was the definition of a hopeful shot. Coming in from Schmidt. Kind of dangled a leg at it and drove it well wide. More desperation, I think, than hope.
And Dan Jackson and the referee are having a early moment about time wasting.
Come on, Jacko. Don't need that.
Frater just getting a little payback there as he bumped heads with, it looks like 25 for Tucson, and they're both going down.
Berriman and Frater.
Yeah, Frater almost immediately calling for trainer to come out. Looks like he's going to come out, and I do believe that's King that's getting his warm-ups off.
Well, that would be a natural switch out, whether King came out to the right or slid into the middle and Jones came out to the right. We know Jones can play a winger as well. So the coach has options here, should Frater need to be withdrawn. You know, it's worth pointing out that this Tucson team, who have played really well tonight and have hung with the switchbacks, certainly for the entire first half, 9 of the 11 starters are college kids.
Well, that's PDL for you.
I know, but that's kind of astonishing.
Yeah, I mean, there's Tucson is no junk team. I mean, FC Tucson is a very respected, almost prestigious team in the PDL. Lots of players come from are Josh Phillips, faster than a cheetah. He got his cheetah speed in for FC Tucson.
Connor Bevins.
Connor Bevins, Billy Thompson.
Said Robinson. Spent some time there too.
Yeah, I believe Billy Thompson won PDL Keeper of the Year while he was time in.
He did. Good remember, you're a goalkeeper. Yeah. What a surprise that you remembered that.
Yeah, the important things.
Anyway, I should say that fact brought to you by Roland Vargish. He may not be here in physically, but he's here in spirit. Thank you, Roland. We have a tweet from Kilty on Twitter saying, "I hereby nominate Jack Jones' glorious locks as man of the match." That's a good shout.
Yeah.
So it looks like Frater is making his way off the field. To be replaced by Aaron King, who ordinarily plays centre forward for the Switchbacks. He started, I think, every game this season in that position, but it looks like he's coming out to the right as a direct replacement for Frater. Jack Jones staying as centre forward. Not much of a reorganisation for the Switchbacks.
And that was
even though Kingy started every game, he's been withdrawn about 60, 65 minutes into every game, so his legs are probably still going to be relatively fresh, and he's probably going to be glad of the minutes. Bevins, Causey, Kingy working the ball at the back, trying to find Jack Jones.
Jones throws a brutal hip. Oh,
that was WWF stuff there. Good job, Jack.
Yeah, then extends the hand down, only to have number 13 refuse the conciliatory help up.
Come on, Vasquez. Tucson drill that free kick into the Switchbacks box. It's cleared, back out again, falls to number 20. Crutzen drills it back in, comes out to the right-hand side to Schmidt. Schmidt flicks it back into the middle, only for Jackson to gather it pretty easily. Schmidt had options there in the middle of the park, but he also had the option as well to shoot, and I think perhaps had he tried to drill the ball across the goal, really making Jackson work for it, could have spilled it, could have dropped to one of his teammates. That might have been the better option there. Ball's brought down by King on the right. Lovely touch from Prue to Kim, to Causey, to Bevins. Nice sequence here from the Switchbacks. Bevins with a beautiful right to left crossfield ball.
To Park.
To Park, yeah. Overlapping run from Suggs. Park comes inside, but Causey finds him. Suggs now. Far left corner. Decides to roll the ball back to Park. Back to Suggs. Park again. Back inside for Causey. Great vision, rolls the ball back to Gutierrez, who rather disappointingly just drills it through the centre of Tucson's defence and into the arms of their goalkeeper. Good to see the overlapping run from Suggs there, Jason. Haven't seen much of that.
Yeah, I think that was the first time we've really seen some good motion of the ball, and really probably the biggest consecutive strings of passes we've had in several games. Although right now, I believe that was Prue who stuck a very unfortunate toe up into the face of the Tucson. So they're going to have a free kick here, roughly about 35 yards out.
Yeah, it's just dangerous. It's on the right-hand side of the goal. The Switchbacks have a three-man wall. Jackson's organising. In comes the free kick.
Right into Jackson's basket. Yeah.
And then he bowls the ball out to Kingy on the right-hand side.
Switchbacks looking to break, and King is just too much for Bevins there.
Yeah, that's ambitious.
Didn't mean to talk over you, bud.
No, it's all good. Nice work from Tucson. They're working it out the backfield from the left-hand side. Played the ball in the middle again to Muskovsky. Oh, good work again in centre mid. Tucson are not prepared to give up on any ball, making the Switchbacks work for everything. Kingy on the right again, rolls the ball back to Bevins, who rolls the ball all the way back to Jackson, who surely will feed it out to the left, and he does, out to Suggs. Suggs comes inside, rolls it to Causey, who's seen a lot more of the ball at his feet this half. And I think the Switchbacks are better for it. I think when you put the ball at Causey's feet and at Prue's feet, and you give them the time and opportunity to move that ball around, to dictate the play a little bit, good things happen. Great flick there from Tucson. Caused some trouble. Played the ball down the left. Ball found its way into Muskovsky, who backheeled it into the path of one of his teammates. Switchback gobbled it up pretty quickly, but again, just another example of Tucson's trickery and their willingness to run for one another. Anyway, as I was saying, with Prue and Causey getting the ball at their feet a little more this half, the Switchbacks are really dictating the play and the pace of the game. I like the way that Causey and Prue get their head up before they receive. It enables them to make the decisions quickly, and this half they've made good decisions that benefited the team.
Prue did well there to win a ball back. 50-50 ball, earned a throw in the offensive third. And Switchbacks are very content just to hold this up and take their time. Let Josh Suggs choose which ball he wants to throw in. No, he's going to take that one. Okay.
We have a quick tweet here from Rob Cull, who I think is in Arizona. Just thanks us for the live broadcast, says we're doing a great job. You're welcome for the live broadcast, Rob. I'm not sure about the second part of your comment, but we are doing our best. Thanks for listening. Bevins cuts out an intended through ball and then
nutmeg.
Well, he nutmegged Arguindegay and then got flattened by... Is that the sub who came on?
Yeah, big lanky fella, number 24.
Anyway, got to keep moving. Tucson now working the ball out on the left-hand side. Found some space with number 19, Pinero. Pinero goes around King. Now he has an opportunity to get his head up and deliver the ball into the middle of the box, which he does. Good defending, though, by Suggsy. Sliding the ball out as far as Kim. Now Kim steps away from his marker in the centre of the field. Jerks the ball out to Jack Jones. You can hear a roar from the crowd. Folks are willing Jones on. He's now in a one-on-one situation on the left-hand side of the goal. Oh, but a good sliding tackle from Tucson takes the ball away from Jones's feet. I think he needed just one more touch to open up the shot. But the Tucson defender timed that tackle perfectly.
And you also saw there when Jack got the ball, no one came up there to help him with it either. And
well, the break was so quick. I mean, Kim laid that ball through and Jack was on his own. Yeah, there's no one around him. You're right. Switchbacks working the ball through the middle again.
Yep. Content just to pass it back and forth and let the time tick away.
That did not go out, linesman. We have a better view than you.
Yep, that was not a good call.
It's going to be the whole of the ball, sir. Think you can hear us? Go down there and talk to Jason. Kingy rolls the ball into Jones, gets dispossessed. Good work there from Pineda. Very strong at the back, but Jones wins the ball back. Can he find his teammate? Oh, good look from Jones. Trying to find Kimmy, rushing through from centre mid. And here it comes, yellow card Kim.
Oh.
God love it. Death text, isn't it? Yellow cards Kim. Things in life that you can depend upon. You know, I love Kim. I play a little myself, amateur level. Anyone who's seen me, well, that will be immediately obvious to you.
Your wife.
And, yeah, and I play centre mid, and I am cut the Kim cloth. I am all about heart and scrap and fight and grit, and then giving the ball to players that are more technically capable than me. So a yellow card again, I've got no issue with that. Kim was going for the ball, mistimed it, and that was all she wrote. Ball finds its way out to Kingy again on the right-hand side. Slides the ball into Eddie Prue. Prue's going to go call from the left. He drops a lovely ball into Jones, though. Oh, Jones tries to side man. This is his moment.
Oh!
So close.
Wow.
Oh, so close from Jack Jones.
And that was
turns back, acknowledges the great ball from Prue. The most obvious pass from Prue there was to swing it out left to Park, but instead Prue chipped the ball into the path of Jones, who rolled his defender, and then with his left foot curled the ball for the far left corner. But the Tucson goalkeeper got both hands on it and palmed it away for a corner. And unlucky for Jones.
Not for the excellent save of Barraza there. That would have been beautiful. That would have been a.
So we have a corner for the Switchbacks. Jones goes up. It's over his head. Looks like a Boosie in the middle. Boosie could get to the ball. He was being obstructed, and he was pulling and pushing and sticking out a leg and throwing up a head. And it was quite comical, trying to get something on the ball. But in the end, the referee determined that Boosie had actually fouled his marker, and Tucson have a free kick in their own box. Tackle from Suggs at left back, stemming the tide of a Tucson attack. Good ball over the top, but King's miles offside.
Yep.
That was worked down the left-hand side really nicely. Prue involved again, found his way into the middle. I think it was Causey who tried to drop the ball over the top of Kingy, who tucked inside of his marker, finding space through the middle, but
looks like
miles offside. We have another switchback sub coming here, I think, when the ball goes out. And Tucson have the ball down the right-hand side, and they have numbers in the middle, and it slides all the way through! Good grief! Oskowski, it looked harder it looked easier to score, but he got his timing wrong. It looked like his feet caught under his body, and as the ball was sliding from the right-hand side, all he really had to do was just put something on it to deflect it past Jackson. It couldn't have been more than maybe 7 or 8 yards out. But like I said, he seemed to get his feet caught under him, and the ball made its way through the switchback's box, unhinged, and out for a goal kick.
Looks like we're going to have Ronnie in come in for Prue.
Well, Eddie Prue worked his socks off.
Yeah, he earned his paycheck tonight.
And in comes the Switchbacks captain, fan favourite, Ronnie Argueta, number 14. Love us some Ronnie.
2016 Backcheck Young Player of the Year.
Connor Bevins hooks that ball in play, keeps it in just about, finds Kimmy finds King. King tries to find Park. Park holds his run so as not to be offside, but in doing so allows the Tucson defender to nip in front of him and clear the ball away. Kimmy's getting
he's not being slowed down by that yellow card.
But maybe he needs to be. This is a Open Cup game, second round. We're 2-0 up. Ronnie's out there now, so Kim, you don't have to do all the bully work. You can share it around. Tucson working the ball down the right-hand side again. Great pace from their right back.
Oh,
Who's impressed me all game long.
oh,
Hinks.
Park stretched out to make the slide tackle, and I think he seriously injured himself.
He's in a lot of pain. The game continues, though.
Yeah,
Pinero playing the ball out to the left. Ball's dropped into the box by Crutzen. Too long.
boy.
That play. You're right. Park does look in a great deal of discomfort.
I see when he went down, he landed in an unnatural position, and he may have tore up his shoulder there. Tucson, however, despite him rolling around deep in our end of the field, had no desire at all to put the ball out of play.
It was great work from Hinkson, though, who really has impressed me. I mean, several of the Tucson guys, I think, have played really, really well today. I think Pineda at the back has been a rock. I love Hinkson's overlapping forward play. Perez looks very, very tidy. Settles the ball down so nicely. Great touch. Really silky. Pinero as well has been a thorn in the switchback side all night long. Gathering up the ball. Laying in teammates that are rolling off of him. Having that great opportunity in the first half where he could have perhaps put Tucson 1 up.
Well,
Moskovsky as well. Since Moskovsky's been on as well, he has been just the definition of perpetual motion. Looking really, really good out there.
and the bad news here if Park is seriously injured, needs to go out, is we just used our last sub. So that would leave us...
I didn't actually want to say that because I didn't want to tempt fate.
Well,
so thank you for that.
I have a responsibility to the journalism gods in the 80 minutes that I've had this job. The good news is he's up on the sideline and just still with the trainer, not working their way back to the bench yet, so there may be a chance that he comes back on. In the meantime, drifting here into the 82nd minute, the Switchbacks will be down a man. I see them reorganizing a little bit, and looks like they're going to go into a...
Looks like leaving Jones up front on his own.
Yeah, 4-4-1. And the Tucson player wasting time for some reason.
Yeah, throwing the ball over Kingy's head.
Yeah.
He retrieve it for a switchbacks throw in. Tucson working the ball out the back. Berriman. Nixon again is making a move down the right, and he receives the ball. This time he's got several defenders between him and the switchbacks box. He rolls one of them though, tries to find space, decides not to try and beat the other, instead deliver an early cross, which gets blocked by Suggs.
The Switchbacks need to watch out because they've been all sucked into that side, and number 20 for Tucson is just cherry picking over here on the left-hand side all by himself. Nearest man is probably 20 yards away from him.
Yeah, that's Crutzen. I think they're playing the odds there, Jason. I think they're working on the premise that the man in the middle is most dangerous. Let the guy out wide be the open man. Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite them.
And they just announced the attendance here as 1,484. I will take their word for that. There's some good hearty fans. This is the warmest open cut match we've had here at Fortress Sand Creek, or I'm sorry, Weidner Field. The previous 2 seasons we've had snow and Marty Maben.
Indeed.
I was waiting for you to throw that stat out.
Well, I thought you were going to do it at halftime, and it is your stat. I think you trademarked it, so I don't want to. I obviously don't want to be sued.
You'll hear from my attorney.
Exactly. Tucson working the ball down on the left, trying to get Crutzen and Masovsky in. Neither can connect with the ball. Switchbacks clear it for a throw, which it looks like Crutzen's going to take. Rolls the ball back to Hargwindagai, who does a really nice job of getting around his defender. Drills it into the middle, only for the switchbacks to clear for another corner. And that's really been the story of Tucson's night. They've done a really nice job of getting down the flanks, getting behind their fullbacks, or our fullbacks. but in delivering that last ball, it just hasn't been there. The Switchbacks have been able to block most everything.
Dangerous ball out there. A corner kick came in and hung in the middle, and Stonewall Jackson had to come out and apply his fist to it. And
now one of the Switchbacks players is down in the box. I think maybe Jackson caught him on that follow-through to punch the ball clear.
That looks to be Diego down.
Yeah, it is. That was a half chance from Smith. Tucson working the ball down the left again with Gutierrez being down. The Switchbacks were down a man, which enabled Schmidt to find a little space just inside the box on the left-hand side. The ball was running away from him, though. He was slightly off balance, did the best he could, sliced it, and over the bar it went. Jackson with a goal kick.
And while we're waiting for Jackson to kick the ball, just seeing here on Twitter that looks like Energy are up 5-1 off of Miguel Gonzalez goal.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
Jack Jones is trying to force his way through, and he may have done so. He's in the box. Has he pulled back? No, the referee's not giving Jones any love whatsoever. Worked his way around his defender in a rather unorthodox fashion. Nonetheless, got the right side of him. Looked like he might pull the trigger, and then suddenly went to ground. Couldn't really tell if there was a pull there or not, but the referee didn't think there was. Tucson now play another long ball into the Switchbacks box, trying to catch the Switchbacks on the counter. Jackson comes up, safe hands, gobbles it up, rolls it back out. Jackson with a little bit of the Poates there, sidestepping the striker to roll the ball up the other side of the box. Nice work from Causey, good footwork, finding Bevins, who gets the call from Kingy, big one. And that's what Bevins does. Now Kingy's in behind his marker. He's on the right-hand side of the field. And I'm not exactly sure what he tried to do there. It looked like...
he looks like he mistouched it. His defender just completely gave up on the ball, and King was by himself, but just touched it way too hard at the last moment. And
play it went.
Yep.
Bevin shields the ball. Out for another Switchbacks throw, deep in the Switchbacks half here on the right-hand side. Throws it to Abusi, back to Jackson. And then Jackson drills it out to the right again. Tucson intercept, but only as far as Abusi. Abusi with a great ball is Jones. Lovely touch. Jones brings the ball down instantly. Causey turning in midfield. And rolling the ball out to Suggs on the left-hand side. Suggs accelerates and pulls on the brake, cuts back, but the ball he rolls inside is not a good one.
Yep.
Catches his teammates out of position, which causes Jake Causey to have to grab the man nearest him, bundling into the ground and giving Tucson another free kick about 40 yards out here, a little under 40 yards out. That can happen so very quickly when you play a ball and it doesn't reach its intended target. Teammates get quite out of position and everyone's in a scramble, and that's what happened there.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, where you're playing a ball to a certain area, expecting a teammate to be there, and there's just nothing but green.
So, Tucson, free kick, 40 yards out, right-hand side of the goal.
Blues.
Numbers in the box. See what they can do. Good ball in. Oh, it does connect with a Tucson head. Tate Smith rises the highest, actually unmarked in the middle of the box, which I imagine Steve Tritchie will not be very pleased about. Unfortunately, wasn't able to catch enough of it. It caught the top of his head rather than his forehead and skimmed away for a Switchbacks goal kick. I've been incredibly impressed with the Switchbacks marking from dead ball situations today, Jason. It's been a little lax.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the dramatic change in personnel or if Tucson are just throwing together stuff that's baffling them. I hope it's the former, not the latter. Another long ball played in. Dan Jackson casually picks it up while Tucson number 19 flashes his cleat in his face.
Bevins now on the right, in Tucson half, cuts inside, then puts the ball back outside for Kingy. Kingy delivers the ball from the right-hand side. Can it come to Jones? Oh, no, it doesn't. It comes over the top of Jones, but it does find... Was that Kim?
That was Kim.
It was Kim. The ball was a little too high for Jones, but it dropped to Kim at the back post. Maybe saw it a little late. Got hold of it. But over the bar it went. Now Tucson at the other end. Oh! Switchbacks failed to clear. Tucson may have an opportunity. They do have an opportunity. It's Muskovsky who snatches at the ball on the edge of the box. No trouble for Jackson.
Yeah, it looked like Diego desperately misplayed that ball again and almost left Jackson out high and dry, but easy enough save. 4 minutes. And we're being told that there's going to be 4 minutes of extra time, so right now we're just getting into the 90th minute. So crunch time is now.
Yeah, if Tucson were to get a goal now, it could certainly make the last few minutes interesting. So, I'm going to put in a shameless plug for us now, Jason. I think we've earned our supper. Anyone listening to our broadcast this evening, sincerely hope you've enjoyed it. And if you have, check out Backchat Show on Twitter, Facebook, or SoundCloud. Jason and I produce a couple of shows every couple of weeks. The first of which, They Think It's All Over, is our immediate post-game analysis of every Switchbacks game this season. There won't be one tonight because you've had our analysis on the fly. But we do try to produce that show within about an hour to 90 minutes at the end of every Switchbacks game. So fans can get our take on the game, and maybe those folks who haven't seen the game.
Yeah, spoiler alert, those shows are either us being really happy or us being really mad.
And then we also produce a show called Extra Time, where we have the opportunity to sit down with an individual Switchbacks player for about 20-25 minutes and really get to know them a little better. Understand their background, where they've come from, how they found their way to the Switchbacks. Just get to know a little bit more about them. Tucson creating a great opportunity down the left-hand side. Nice ball into the box again. But it finds its way all the way through and out the other side. Nice cross, though, from Crutzen.
It was dangerous.
You know, I can't decide. Crutzen's done that a few times this game. And earlier I was critical of the final ball. I can't decide whether or not it's the quality of the delivery or if players in the middle just aren't making the most of it, because he does seem to be putting decent balls in decent spaces. Maybe the runs aren't there. Nonetheless, another opportunity goes begging for Tucson. And now they try to force their way through the middle. Crowded out by Switchbacks defenders. And a free kick rather confusingly the Switchbacks way. Maybe it was an offside.
No, number 24, Clatter Bevins there at the top of the box. I think some of Tucson's frustrations begin to show here.
Yeah, he should out. Yeah. Anyhow, if you'd like to hear Jason and I ramble on about the Switchbacks, please check us out. Like I said, Twitter, Facebook, SoundCloud. We'd definitely appreciate it. Jason, what bearing does this game have, if any, on the Switchbacks next game? Crutzen again out on the left, plays the ball into the middle. Ooh, rather awkwardly cleared by Gutierrez.
We need to teach our ball kids not to be throwing the ball in that quickly.
Oh, nice hit!
Oh! Boy.
That was a fantastic hit from Pinheiro. The throw came from Crutzen. Pinheiro took it on the left-hand side of the box. Didn't hesitate. Turned, opened up his hips, swung his right foot at it. A beautiful, strong, bending, curling right foot shot, narrowly missing the upper right-hand corner. Had that been a couple more inches to the left, I don't think there's anything Jackson could have done with it.
And
so, Jason, anyway, this game, bearing on the next, any at all?
Well, I think it's momentum. It's something that we can positively look at and say, hey, look, we went out. We, despite the lapses in the defense, we've not. And I hesitate to say this when possibly in the third minute of a 4-minute extra time, we haven't given up a goal. We've in the beginning of the first half or the second half, when we really needed to get after it, we went after it and got those 2 quick goals right away. And I think that's going to do a lot for our confidence. For individual players, Jack Jones, I think this is just another chapter in the legend of Jack Jones. And may lead to him getting more playing time next week against Oklahoma, who last I saw were up 5-1, or may have been the finals 5-1. Jack Jones just earning a corner kick here, and the team obviously taking their time, walking the ball down. Going to play it at the sticks, I imagine. And they're just going to sit on the corner. And the referee has none of that, and that's the game. For Dan Jackson, I think this is good for him to get that shutout, because there's anyone who deserved to have a get that clean sheet. It's Dan Jackson, who really got put into some bad situations at the beginning of the year while we waited for Moise Puate to come to the States, having to clean up the mess that Luthi left. But yeah, good 2-0 win here at Weidner Field, and I think there's lots of positive to look on and enough negative to improve on.
I want to come back to the Switchbacks players, particularly those that are newer to the organisation here in just a moment, but I also want to be mindful of our Tucson listeners who perhaps don't want to hear us rambling on about the Switchbacks for the next 5 minutes. So, in conclusion, FC Tucson, what do we think of them this evening?
I was impressed.
Yeah, me too.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a lot of these players in the next year or two competing at them at the USL level, or perhaps even Trichu taking a look and trying to cherry pick some of the finer players, as he's wont to do.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they played to their strengths this evening. They knew that they would struggle to stay with the Switchbacks at altitude, trying to play the ball through the middle of the park, so instead decided to try and stretch the play. They also used the flanks really well, got in behind our fullbacks on several occasions, like I mentioned earlier. Hinkson in particular really impressed me, but there were several good performances out there from Tucson, who perhaps could have got a goal, certainly in the first half. Second half, the opportunities were a bit more speculative, nothing really clear-cut. A couple of opportunities, I suppose. That really good hit at the end from Pinero, although that was all his own work. And then Moskovski could have done a little better job with that right wing cross that, again, it looked like it was on a plate for him and didn't quite pan out. But, yeah, good job from FC Tucson. Certainly some quality players out there. Gave the Switchbacks a workout and can certainly hold their heads up on their trip back to Arizona. Thanks to all the FC Tucson listeners. Stay with us for as long as you like. We're going to talk Switchbacks now for the next few minutes. I do appreciate you tuning in, and hope you enjoyed the commentary. So, Jason, turning our attention back to the Switchbacks. Connor Bevins, we've seen him come on a couple of times this season, but when we've done so, it's usually been in an advanced position, usually been as a wide midfielder or in one of those wide attacking positions. How did you like him at fullback this evening?
He looked good. I'd wondered at some point if putting Sion up top was also not just us not having enough offensive players, but to make room for the back to get into Connor Bevins, to get in that work, and just having a dearth of players. But I think he handled he acquitted himself fairly well.
He's a tidy player. He has good foot skills. He looks really good going forwards. Made me a little nervous in terms of his defensive work. I felt like we got him behind, or Tucson got him behind him a little easier than perhaps they would have done Jordan Burt. But he certainly looks like a good player, a good solid player. Like I said, very technically adept, and certainly didn't do himself any harm this evening. You mentioned Jack Jones, who looked energetic out there, almost had a great goal. Would have loved to have seen that gone in. Saw a little more Freighter tonight, who obviously has been a bit part player this season, coming in for Kingy for the last sort of 20 minutes, 25 minutes of most of the games this season. Were you more impressed with Freighter this evening?
I don't know if I'd be more impressed with him. It's more of confirming what we've already seen. Diego Gutierrez, I was impressed with him. He definitely had he was definitely in the mix and didn't get embarrassed too much.
No, he looked good back there. The only thing that worried me about him was height a little bit.
Yeah. One thing that troubled me, I almost interrupted you while you were summing up everything for Tucson, is that aside from the onslaught in the first 2 minutes of the half and the save against Jack Jones their keeper really wasn't called into question all that much. He made that one good save in a couple, strong plays to discourage goals, but we weren't really peppering their keeper with many shots at all, which could be the fact that we're down offensive players. That just might be the nature of the beast. But it's something that it's something to work on still. And you want to come away with games like this confident, but still having a list of things you can improve on. And I think that's a theme that's going to continue this season is opportunities and quality opportunities.
How much do you feel like we met? How much do you feel like we missed our starters this evening? The Master Cashiers, Ronnie Arguetas of the world.
I think if
Shane Malcolm.
Yeah, a lot of the discontinent
Connect.
Hard word.
Oh, okay.
A lot of the disconnect on the field was players playing out of position, new players, combinations they'd not had. I think if we had rolled with the same 11 that we had last weekend, I don't think the score would have been as close as it is, or as close as it ended up being. But then we saw Park having to exit the game early. I've been trying to look to see if I can find him going up and whether or not he's been iced down or not. I haven't seen him, but when games like this, you run that risk of a player getting injured, and if that was Master Cashier that went down and got injured for the season, you got to question which you'd rather have back, a player or an Open Cup game.
So when all said and done, is Steve Tritchu, the Switchbacks coach, happy with tonight's work? Did he see things this evening which he would be excited by, which maybe could factor into his decision making in future games?
I imagine no. I can't imagine Tritchu sitting down and saying, "Wow, that was really great, good job, guys," because it was sloppy, and if this was USL level of competition, it wouldn't have been that close. We wouldn't have had a chance. Now, having said that, I think as a team as a whole, we have momentum going into Salt Lake. We have momentum. We lost Park tonight, and we obviously don't want to speculate on the extent of his injuries, but he's not a starter, and he's not someone who really wouldn't have factoring into the starting 11. So I hate to say we left it injury-free because we didn't, but we didn't lose a starter.
Right.
This game may speak more about what happens next week when Oklahoma City comes in on who's going to start that game, and that's when we start. We play Oklahoma City twice, and within 4 days next week. We play them on Wednesday, and then we play them on Saturday or Sunday. Don't quote me on that. But we play them back-to-back here at home. So I imagine the first game, Tritchu isn't going to want to lay his cards out, and he's not going to show his hand for the follow-up game. So we're going to see a lot of these same players coming in, having these same opportunities. And on the same side, I imagine the energy is going to be the same. It'll be interesting to see if Miguel plays against us in the Open Cup next week. I think that might gauge where he is with their team. I was kind of surprised to see that he scored. Surprised that he was in the game, but I don't know. It's half of one, six of the other. Half a dozen.
I think one thing that Tritchu was able to confirm for himself this evening is the depth and quality of his roster. There's guys out there who clearly could step in and do a job. They're not going to leave the team hanging. And I think, if anything, he saw that tonight with several of the lads that he started. That's a good thing. Like Jason said, came through relatively unscathed. Be interesting to see the situation with Park. Hopefully he'll still be available for the game this coming weekend. And as Jason also mentioned, with Oklahoma winning handsomely this evening, that does mean that we meet them twice in 4 days. But both times here at Fortress Sand Creek. So that should make for a really interesting and chippy pair of games.
Yep.
Undoubtedly. 2-0 to the Switchbacks in the Lamar Hunt US Open Cup second round. The Switchbacks march on to round 3. You may hear from us in round 3. Who knows? I suppose it depends what you all think and the powers that be. Nonetheless, we've enjoyed it this evening. Thank you so much, Jason.
Thank you, Mark.
This evening.
Thank you, Switchbacks, for inviting us, allowing us to do this. It was really lots of fun.
Should I say they think it's all over? No.
I think it is all over because I think we're the only ones left in the stadium. I was looking down on the field to say, okay, who are we going to go talk to? And there is no one left here.
Jason, you were my interview. You were my interview tonight. Thanks again for listening, folks. We really do appreciate it. That's all from the Back Chat Show. Good night.